I had food poisoning last week. So I took all this medication for anti-nausea and to calm my stomach down, which the severe side effects of Zofran is severe constipation. So it has been a struggle the past 2.5 days. Well, today, my friend, we are constipated no more. And
release the Kraken.
It has been multiple trips, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
Because I was reading this article, and there's 2 types of people in the world. There are. No. This is scientifically proven. Like doctors say, there's 2 types of people. There's people that poop once every 3 days, and there's people who poop 2 or 3 times a day. I'm the latter. So I am not used to feeling like there's something in there.
Yeah.
And so it has really been messing with me, and so I welcome it.
I think that should be the intro.
Get out of my body. You can put it in there. I don't care. What's going on, America? I am Graham Allen, and welcome to the newest episode of the Dear America podcast. See, I did it different that time.
Yeah, but we followed.
All right, so I'm going to jump right into it with the stupidest article I've read in a while, I just discovered it literally 5 minutes ago.
Literally?
All right, you ready for this?
Yep.
And I'm going to read a couple things before we dissect this here. Boston considers removing Abraham Lincoln statue with freed slave.
Wait.
Let me read that one more time. Boston is considering removing Abraham Lincoln statue with freed slave. This is what it looks like. Okay. All right. So, and I was thinking, what? Just like everybody else. And so I read it this is the people who want to remove its stant. The monument was intended to show Lincoln freeing the man from slavery, but a new petition argues that it instead represents us still beneath someone. It says that it's a statue that's supposed to represent freedom, but to me, it represents submissiveness, says Tory Bullock, who started the online petition that has 7,800 signatures of morons on it. It represents know your place because that's where you belong.
Isn't that what the white privilege thing is too?
What the crap are we talking? It's a statue. Now, granted, I will give you, okay, the black man is down below and there's undone chains on the ground, and Abraham Lincoln is standing up. Okay? So I can see what a small-minded, pea-sized brain individual person could get that. But anybody who knows context of what this statue is supposed to represent, the very man that is responsible for slavery ending in America, this is obviously him raising his hand saying, get up off the ground. You are no longer a slave.
Yeah.
Get up.
Yeah. He's one of the 600,000 people responsible for ending slavery.
You know what I'm trying
I know what
to
you're
say.
saying.
This is the man that introduced it and made it happen.
Yep.
Okay? All right? There wouldn't have been a Civil War without Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Abraham Lincoln. Why am I having so much trouble saying that? Saying it to be so.
But isn't that the problem with society is anyone can go out, find anything wrong with anything, create a petition, and cause stress.
That same person
diversity.
should be against saying white privilege because it's assuming that they are beneath white people.
Yeah, so are you saying that white people are superior?
Right.
At that point? I mean, is that what you're saying? What a bunch of moronic idiots.
Just go to work.
Just get a freaking job, man, and worry about things that actually matter, like paying your bills.
I said go to work. That probably is going to have
taking care of your kids.
You can't say anything, so it doesn't matter what you say anymore.
Somebody said it best, though. How long before they removed the statue of Rocky Balboa? Balboa? How long before they removed the statue of Rocky Balboa? I'm having a stroke.
Rocky Ebola.
Rocky Balboa gets pulled down. He beat up 3 black men and a communist. What's wrong with you? Wait, I think that's hilarious because it is very true. Rocky
I want
Balboa.
the statues. If you take them down, just let me have them.
I'll take the Abraham Lincoln statue. We'll put it it right here in the studio.
Well, it was like the one monument that they defaced that was like an all-black regiment or something, like World War II.
I saw that.
And they're like, Black Lives Matter. Okay, those were all.
Oh, my God.
Well, these are just those crazy writers who don't know what they're doing.
There's a lot to talk about today, so let's go ahead and get into our first sponsor really quick. This is iTarget Pro. Even though the country is opening up again, some of us are a little leery about being in confined spaces with the public. If you're looking for a great gift idea for Father's Day that's safe and COVID-free, please consider iTarget Pro. This is one of the coolest ways to dry fire train with your gun at home using their proprietary app and laser bullet. It's safe and convenient and will save you a ton of money on ammunition. Dry fire training will develop muscle memory, help with target reaction speed, sight alignment, trigger function, and more. iTarget comes in all the major calibers, including 223 and 556. So for Father's Day, get 10% off plus free shipping with the offer code GRAHAM. Don't let circumstances dictate whether or not you are going to train. Take back control with iTarget Pro. That's the letter I. TargetPro.com. iTargetPro.com. Offer code Graham. Okay, if you will recall, just the other day on this program, I yet again prophesied that it's only a matter of time now that Donald Trump is saying that he's going to start his rallies again before the media starts to say that COVID-19 is still an enemy of the people, and this is a horrible idea for Trump to do such a thing. So after almost 1 million people now have registered online for tickets to his rally, his first one back in Tulsa, Oklahoma, NBC News put 2 tweets in a little over an hour apart. Okay? These tweets, both of them, within an hour of each other. The first one, or hold on, let's see which one was first. Okay, the first one, Rally for Black Trans Lives Matter draws packed crowd to Brooklyn Museum Plaza. And it shows a picture of all of these people.
Oh, so brave.
Okay, so brave. Then that was at 4:50 p.m. At 6:13 p.m., NBC News. President Trump plans to rally his supporters next Saturday for the first time since most of the country was shuttered by the coronavirus. But health experts are questioning that decision.
Of course they are.
What the crap? That's within an hour and a half of each other.
Are they allowing the black trans people into Trump's rally?
Do you see? What if it was a MAGA rally for trans people?
Yeah.
What about
black trans people?
Black trans people. What if it was a MAGA Lives rally? MAGA Lives Matter. MAGA Lives Matter rally. What? Okay. This is my point, though.
Yeah.
How do people see this? Even people who hate Donald Trump. Okay. You have to, at some point, sit there and go, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, even I will admit sometime when Trump says something kind of dumb, I'll even go, I don't know if I would have said it like that.
Right.
Yeah, it probably wasn't the best decision. You got to admit.
Willful blindness.
You got to admit that the media is all for these tens of thousands of people breathing and spitting on each other for these Black Lives Matter, Black Trans Lives Matter rallies or whatever they are.
And
riots,
even said
protests.
It was okay to leave your house if for protest or riot.
Right.
Yes.
Their big excuse is the excuse we gave during COVID. We said some things are worth risking a spike, like reopening our economy. It's worth the risk of having a little spike.
But yet there's still places that won't let businesses open.
Right. But that's what they'll say to these like protests. They're like, some things are worth the risk of getting
Andrew
infected.
Cuomo, go ahead, Alyssa.
Oh, nothing. I was going to say, remember when we were watching the news and it was something about President Trump and it was just showing basically how the news can twist anything. And we had that same debate of, well, how can people not see this? But I would say because we actually watch and see these things happening, whereas they can literally push anything and they're like, oh, okay, that's just what we're going to blindly believe. And it is frustrating because I guarantee no one's looking back over and going, oh, that doesn't align.
Right.
They're just going, oh yeah, President Trump, that's not good.
Short-term memories.
But the tweets were put in this article and tweet that I was reading. The tweets are literally put side by side together, showing the timestamps. How people don't see that there is a blatant shift in the hypocrisy level between these two things is beyond me. Are riots immune to the coronavirus?
Yes.
But that's my point.
Just simple hypocrisy.
Is that scientifically proven that it doesn't matter? The coronavirus will not infect you and then now reports have come out saying that asymptomatic spread of the virus is bullcrap. It's bull. Yeah. It's so rare. It's microscopic. So what are we talking about?
Control.
But it's not working, man. And
but it is working.
But I don't think it is. Trump's got over almost 1 million online ticket purchases for his first rally back, and I think it's going to be even bigger in these other areas. I think you're going to get 1 million each area.
Yeah,
I agree that's working. I'm saying I don't even want to say the other side because it's so divisive. But
what you mean the other side?
But it's true.
But it is working with like who they are going to, pandering to. It is working, and that's what's frustrating.
But it's true.
Yeah,
because it is hypocritical.
And they believe every poll they see. Did you see Trump's down, 15%? He's going to lose. Yeah, for all those people who take polls from San Francisco.
But they also don't pay attention to what's actually happening, because every primary that has happened, there has been record turnout for Republicans. Mm-hmm. Okay, what was the guy that AOC was so pumped about that got knocked out of the primary because they say he's a racist? Steve King.
That's right.
That's his name. All right. And AOC and all these people are like, ooh, the tide is turning and a blue wave is coming. You know who beat Steve King in the primary?
Who?
Another GOP person. Another GOP person. Conservatives have shown up in record numbers for primaries.
Yep.
Okay. South Carolina, Georgia, all these places, they've shown up in record numbers. All the signs point to Joe Biden being colossally embarrassed by this point.
He knows. That's why he said Trump's going to fix the election, because he already knows that's going to happen.
Well,
speaking of Biden, though, did y'all see him on The View? Our really good friend shared it.
No,
and
I have not.
There wasn't a they were like,
which time?
Well, recently, but there was no teleprompter, and they asked him about the chart, and he literally was just like, I came in here, that's what and he made no sense, and then it shows like the View ladies' faces, and they were just like, okay, let's maybe like trying to move it along. It was real bad because he made zero sense. Mm-hmm. It was real bad.
Yeah.
I see, and we've talked about this. So if we want to get real for a moment, we've talked about, where is all this stuff heading? And here's the truth. I wish that I could tell you that there aren't two very different sides in America, but I can't. I can't tell you that because that would be a lie. There are two very distinct, divisive sides in America. And the truth of the matter is, it all boils down to you've got to decide which side you stand on. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's it. The times of, we're just apolitical and we're not going to do any of this stuff. I'm sorry, it's not going to be very much longer before you're not going to have that opportunity anymore. Yeah. We were just talking about it earlier today. What happens when Trump landslides in 2020? I think you've only begun to see
what a riot looks like.
What a riot looks like. I think that Trump will landslide in 2020, and then for the next 4 years, they're going to riot and destroy and say the elections were rigged and all this kind of stuff, man. I think it's going to be 10 times what you've seen in the past 4 years. And what's going to happen is, at some point, real Americans or the homeland of America is going to say, that's it, man. We've had enough of this garbage.
Enough of you burning our cities
I think
down.
You're going to see law and order states, and you're going to see socialistic states. It is. It's true. Yeah. That's what I think. That's where I think we're headed. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, if you really want to boil down to it, we're already there. Yeah. I mean, people who live in New York State would argue that New York State is actually very red. But the vast majority of the metropolitan areas, Albany, freaking
California, same
Brooklyn,
way.
Manhattan,
Texas.
Chicago's the same way. Mm-hmm. You've got Chicago, and the rest of Illinois is like farmland.
Yeah.
And they all are red. They agree, but it's these huge metropolitan areas that dictate how the state is run. Yeah. Because the governor mostly resides in the major state or the major city of the state. And the state and the city of which they reside greatly reciprocates or mirrors what the what the political affiliation is of the leaders.
Right.
So you're already seeing it. The problem is now it's just becoming more and more open for people to see because you've got social media, you've got this, you've got that. And I do. I think that it's going to become more and more and more divided. And it's not going to be about race this time. It's not about race. Everybody agrees. Every race is created equally. Everybody agrees on that. What we're divided on now is ideals on how this country should move forward.
Right.
That's what we're divided on. And the truth, I don't know if it's fixable.
Well, they're not simple disagreements. It's far left and right, basically.
Yeah.
If you're not far left
and there are
radical,
super far right radicals that I do not agree with as well.
Yeah, there's about 7 of them.
The Groypers or whatever it's called.
But the thing is, the conspiracy side of this is that this has been the plan all along by people like George Soros. The point was to sow this kind of, divisiveness. It's trying to crumble America. And look, they're succeeding. And we're too far apart to reconcile. And then you have the nice videos like the female African-American officer who had this white guy come up to her and pray for her. And it was a really good video.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
But it's sad that that's not enough anymore to have some hope in humanity. We're too far a lot of times.
Again, I don't know what the answer is in that regard. I think that the next 4 years are going to be very interesting. I really do. And again, it's not a divisiveness or a division in the country over race. It's a division over
ideas.
Ideals. Like what is America?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How should America operate? How should America operate moving forward?
Right.
Do we maintain our capitalistic ideas, or do we adopt freaking socialistic ideas? How do we do this moving forward? And what I see is I do not see the states that are pro-democratic socialism, or the people that are pro-democratic socialism, the people that are pro-capitalism and freedom coming to terms in that regard. And so what's the natural solution there? I don't know. I don't.
Do you think it'll be, what is the CHAZ, the autonomous? Do you think that we'll see more of those pop up?
Well, okay. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. And so let's talk about that as soon as we get into this next sponsor. All right. But yes, I want to talk about CHAZ, and I want to talk about that as well, because it kind of goes into this conversation here. But first, let's get into a sponsor. The anxiety and stress caused by debt is overwhelming. It makes you feel alone, like there's no way out, especially now. Everybody's had debt. We all know what it's like to be stressed out about paying that debt off, but there is a way out. You don't have to go through it alone, and Freedom Debt Solutions is here to help. There is no one-size-fits-all solution to getting out of debt. Freedom Debt Solution has more than 400 debt experts standing by to recommend the right solution for your specific situation. Since 2002, Freedom Debt Solution has served over 750,000 clients, settled over 2.7 million accounts, and settled over $10 billion with a B in debt. So if you have over $10,000 or more in credit card debt and struggling to make monthly payments, there is hope. Stop the stress and anxiety your debt is causing. Find out how you can talk to a Freedom Debt Solutions expert and get your free personalized debt consultation today. Go to freedomdebtsolutions.com/Graham. That's freedomdebtsolutions.com/Graham. freedomdebtsolutions.com/Graham. All right, so CHAZ, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, which I think they're trying to change it to CHOP now. Capitol Hill something, I don't remember, but I think they're trying to change it to CHOP at this second. So for those of you who don't know what CHAZ is about 6 blocks of Seattle, where these revolutionists have decided that they're going to secede from America. So when you step up to these 6 blocks in Seattle, you are actually leaving America and you are going into CHAZ.
You're entering CHAZ, the CHAZ.
A country that is 6 blocks in radius.
And they're being allowed to do this, might we point out.
Well, right. And so, there's a lot to talk about here. But isn't there like bylaws in the rules of America that says if you secede from America, there's like consequences to
Pretty
that.
sure we had a war or something.
Yeah,
like
I know,
that.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, isn't that like a thing?
Shouldn't they have to pay us too if they're going to take our 6
like,
blocks
like
of
what
American
happens
soil?
when what is the penance for when they
It's
inevitably
ridiculous.
fall apart and come back to America?
They already have. I mean, you saw they made a list of demands of what they need.
Yeah, nothing
Like, wait a
says
minute.
nothing says autonomous. Like, here's what we need.
We need all these things from you:
Yeah.
supplies.
to make-
They're
food,
also
water.
racists, by
Let me
the
see.
way.
Let me say. Well,
They built a wall
Yes.
around
Yeah.
their entire city.
So walls
It's
are
like,
effective.
so hold on. Let's not get ahead, guys.
too much to talk
I
about.
don't know where to go.
Let's break this down
Break it down, baby.
really quick. Okay, so let's go over the supplies list that they need first. All right, so these are supplies.
Okay.
Number 1, clothes. Male pants, male large shirts, belts, men's shoes. Apparently, there's no women in CHAZ. Ice, the good kind.
Like the Sonic kind.
No, they're saying like ice, like immigration.
The Sonic
Yeah.
kind.
All right.
They do have the best ice.
Cigarettes and lighters,
Well, that's most important.
lanterns, flashlights, headlamps, portable solar chargers, Gatorade, electrolyte
Gatorade.
powder,
They're so smart.
backpacks, reusable bags, tents, sleeping pads, pillows, tarps, track phone minutes cards, body lotion, shoes, bedding, comforters, zip ties, folding chairs, laundry bags, and personal. It's cut off. I can't read
So
that.
could this
Hygiene
solve the
products.
homeless problem in America?
These
if we
are
can all
these
just
are
demand?
these are a list of demands from them, and I also read now that they need guns and ammo.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
All right, so let's talk about the irony that is CHAZ. Okay, the very first thing that CHAZ, I would be willing to bet that most of CHAZ is anti-immigration, like they're pro-immigration.
Yeah.
The people of CHAZ. But the very first thing that they do when they're creating their sovereign land is they set up barricades checkpoints, guarded checkpoints to solidify their borders, which is interesting.
It's a smart move.
It's a very smart move, but it's so interesting to me that you realize that you can't set up your own territory unless you have borders set up. What defines someone's own house? It is a collection of walls enclosed with locks that protects what you own on the inside of it, right?
Right.
It's as simple as that. It's a house.
It's just what we say about all these celebrities, though. It's like they want us to be, open your doors to anybody,
Yeah.
but not my house, not my mansion in Beverly Hills.
So the interesting thing about CHAZ to me is this. First of all, they have like a warlord
oh yeah,
over CHAZ.
he's a rapper too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a rapper, and he's like legitimately a warlord.
Does it not remind you of that like episode of Walking Dead? What is it, season 3, when they like boarded?
Yeah.
And like that's
Yeah, oh, it's 100% Walking
It's
Dead. This is
really
exactly
scary.
what people would do.
Their
in that
demand list
situation.
is like if middle schoolers wanted to run away and start their own little community.
Okay, but let's talk about hypocrisy of CHAZ here. So first of all, how this is being allowed to happen is beyond me.
Seattle.
I really don't understand how we can justifiably allow citizens to secede just because they said so. They don't own those areas. They don't own those city blocks. They don't own those buildings.
It's
Right.
ridiculous.
What are we going to do about the citizens that are left over there that can't get out? So are we going to bring military in
Well,
to
I
get
think,
those
are you getting
citizens
to that
out?
about how what the police officers said about
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, y'all are jumping all over the place today.
Sorry.
We got to lead the people into it, guys. We can't
Sorry,
just
we
dump
like to
truck
just
it
throw
all
them in
on
the
'em.
deep end and see
All
what
right.
happens.
So the hypocrisy of all this is the mayor of Seattle is very pro-CHAZ. All right, it's very pro. They've come out and said that they are the parishioners of their day, and that they are a reflection of what America should be: sovereign and peaceful. And then the police chief comes on and says they're raping and assaulting and beating up and discriminating against color and everything in there.
And we can't get in there.
And well, that to me is the most spineless thing I've ever heard in their life. We're not allowed to go into the autonomous zone because people said we're not allowed to go in there. What the crap is that? North Carolina, there were people trying to set up barricades and like get their own little place. And there's videos going around of the police just taking the barricades down
Yeah, but I would argue that, though, because where in Seattle they are, I mean, the mayor, everyone answers to somebody. So if they're really being told to stand down, they don't want to lose their job and they can't get in there. It's not that they can't get in there.
No, I'm not blaming the police. I'm blaming the people in charge.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
That's what I'm saying is the police, you're right. The police have to answer, especially the city police. They answer to the mayor, the county police answer to the sheriff, blah, 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 blah. All I'm saying is it is craziness to me that, I mean, people were killed for this back in the day. I mean, let's just be honest. There was no seceding from America. I mean, that's a big deal, guys. And what's so funny, it's kind of like how a month ago where they finally admitted that there's UFOs and everybody was just like, okay, no big deal. We have people seceding from America. Whatever. Big deal.
Do you think it's whatever because everyone knows it's not going to work?
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Again, I think I said that word 5 times because it's ridiculous.
It's amusing.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing? Are they trying to just make a point? Clearly, the mayor knows, obviously, this is not going to work. But that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. Wow. I don't, again, this goes back to what we were saying earlier. If you see this now 4 months before the election, just wait to what here, unfortunately, is what I see. You know, America has always prided itself on the fact of you have the peaceful transition of power, right? Elections of presidents, presidents leaving the office for the next president. It's the peaceful transition of power. It's one thing that separates America. My unfortunate fear is that I don't have a fear that Donald Trump's going to win. I want Donald Trump to win. My fear is that you are going to have military barricades for when he wins. And you're not going to have this celebration that's joyful and all this stuff like you normally have. You're going to have military presence, police presence, SWAT presence, DEA, FBI, whatever. You're going to have all Secret Service. You're going to have all of it. And I mean, it's going to unfortunately look like it's another country because of the citizens, not because of the president, because of the citizens. And that's what I see. I see this election and in January and everything, I see it looking a lot different.
I have more hopeful thoughts.
Okay.
Do you think, though, because it's election year, obviously we all know we're seeing all this stuff. Once he's elected, I agree. I think it'll be pretty bad for a few months. But then it's like, okay, another 4 years, and it'll kind of die down until another 3.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm going to stick with her.
Look how they've acted the past 4 years. They still haven't accepted it. Another 4 years, they will say it's life or death.
But this year has been exceptionally insane versus the last 3.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's crazy, guys. It's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. It's nuts.
Remember they screamed at the sky?
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh yeah.
People got in groups and
this time they're going to set things on fire.
Yeah.
Well, and they're going to do that because as a country, we're letting them.
Right.
Well, okay. So back to CHAZ.
CHAZ.
All right. So CHAZ citizens, these are articles going on right now. CHAZ citizens torment black man holding American flag in autonomous zone, call him a race traitor. Street preacher attacked in Seattle's autonomous zone, screaming, "Stop choking me." They also held him down and forced him to kiss a homosexual man as well. So that's happening in the autonomous zone, the peaceful showing of how amazing Americans can be in a lawless, non-policed area. And it's only been like 3 days. Imagine 2 weeks from now what it's going to spiral down into.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolute insanity. But yet, I mean, that's what we're doing. I mean, why not at this point? Somebody said, man, maybe you should just let them just do what they want in those certain areas. And if they freaking burn it down, that's what they do. They burn it down.
And see that it's a failed test or whatever.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we go buy property.
What kind of America do you want? Do you want an America where every state has freaking checkpoints to come in and out of the states? Yeah. Do you want it to where reciprocity does not happen? to where if you hold a driver's license in one state, you're not allowed to freely come and go between other states? What do you want? Is that what you want?
Well,
because that's where we're freaking headed.
Well, I think there's a good, like, if you, in the counseling world, like if you look at the normal progression of the brain, when you're a child, right, you don't do things because of fellow man. You do things because you're going to get in trouble by mom or dad if you know you're not supposed to do that. A lot of people, unfortunately, have never honestly matured enough to go past that point, which is why we have a lot of police, because they know if we do this, we're going to get in trouble because they haven't matured enough. And unfortunately, a lot of America is very immature.
Yeah. And because of that.
And that's why it's so important to have consequences for action.
Right. And because of how immature they are, they also think they're the smartest people in the world and that they know how socialism. We know how, even though we have all these bad examples, we know how to do it right. Our founding fathers, they were racist. We know how to run a country.
Yeah.
Well, let's get ready to get into the big meat of this conversation, and that is the newest police shooting in Atlanta. But before we do that, let's break open a little Kill Cliff here. Ladies and gentlemen, Kill Cliff is in hold on, can I get the
Isn't that what you're drinking too, Noah? Is that what he got? Oh yeah, he was too. Everybody's drinking Kill Cliff.
So Kill Cliff is a sponsor of our show. They're amazing people. They are very pro-military. Their main charity is the Navy SEAL Foundation.
That's awesome.
Great guys and gals over there. They make energy drinks for a more healthy alternative. They've got Ignite, which is the energy. They've got a recovery drink, and they even got CBD drinks as well. That's Jake's favorite. I like to be up, so I like the Ignite. But you can go to killcliff.com and use code GRAHAM to save you some money on everything but subscription. So go to killcliff.com and check them out. Amazing people over there, amazing company. And the drinks are pretty awesome as well. Yeah. So cheers.
Yeah, I myself have drank, probably half that refrigerator.
Jake has drank the entire
amount you drink is not healthy. You can, in moderation, they are healthy.
All right. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, so now let's get into the big thing that's going on in the news media world right now, and that is the Atlanta shooting with, is it Rayshard Brooks?
Rayshard Brooks.
Rayshard Brooks. Anyway, so it's the shooting seen around the world now. 2 white officers, black man. And I made a video about it, and it's amazing how many blatantly, not even ignorant, stupid people that there are in America. So, so the shooting, this is what happened. Everybody has their stories mixed up. You've got the left saying that, he was drunk, but he, went to sleep in his car because he knew it would be wrong to drive. Where's the crime in that? Well, that's not what happened. That's not the truth. That's not the truth at all. The body cam footage shows that Rayshard Brooks was passed out drunk in the drive-through lane of Wendy's, and people are having to go around him, and the police officer even has to go wake him up in the middle of the drive-through. All right, so now let's talk a little bit of law. Well, where's the crime in that? It's not like he was on the highway or anything. Let's go over the simple law, ladies and gentlemen. It's very, very, very simple. The law is actually really simple in a lot of ways. If you are drunk, the second that you turn that engine on, you're done. It's over. It's over. It is illegal. That's a felony. You cannot do that. Okay? The second that you put it in reverse or drive, you're done even more. So it doesn't matter that he didn't make it on the highway. He got in a car, completely obliterated, drove, put it in the drive-through line, and then passed out. That's illegal. You cannot be behind a motor vehicle and have it operating and be plastered. You can't do that. People are like, well, them cops just should have called him an Uber home.
It's funny how people use that as he didn't get shot because he was drunk.
What? Yeah, he didn't get shot because he was drunk. And also, it's not the police department's job to call you an Uber. In fact, it's pretty normal practice to just put you in the drunk tank overnight. Yeah. They may not have charged him with it. You don't know.
That could have been where he ended up. Just spend the night in the drunk tank.
Spend the night in the drunk tank, dude. Sleep it off.
Sober up.
You'll be released in the morning. We'll never know. Because what happened was this. He failed a breathalyzer, okay? And the police officer made the decision to cuff him. Probably was going to take him to the drunk tank.
Yep.
Probably. Because you're right. Rashard Brooks was very peaceful up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
But the second the police officers go to put the handcuffs on, that's where it turns bad. Immediately, Rashard Brooks begins to fight with the police. Immediately. All right. Becomes violent. The police start wrestling with him. And he's throwing these two cops around. And there's even some people have dissected the video, and they say, I haven't seen this, I haven't dissected it that hard, but they say you can see one of the cops that have his back advantage go for the rear naked choke instinctively and then let it go.
Wow.
Because chokeholds are now wrong, which immediately that would have ended the situation.
It shows incredible awareness.
Yeah, it shows incredible awareness because instinctively and again, this is just me saying what other people have told me. I have not viewed this on the video myself, but they say that you can see the cop try to go for it and then decide not to. Then what happens is they try to tase him, to subdue him, and Rashard Brooks grabs the taser and gets the taser away from the police officer, takes a swing at the police, and then starts running. Okay, now this is where people are like, you're not allowed to shoot a man in the back ever while he's running away. Well, what happened was Rashard Brooks turned around, shot the taser at the police. The second he shot the taser, policeman reaches for his gun and pops Rashard Brooks. Yeah. Now, Rashard Brooks had turned back around and got shot in the back during that. That is true. He was shot in the back because he had turned back around by the time the police officer shot. Well, he shouldn't have done that. Do you people not realize you're talking? Do you know how fast you can turn back around? Half a second. Do you guys realize the amount of time we're actually talking about for individuals to make a decision at that point? Well, taser is non-lethal. It's not a matter of that. In fact, the use of force clearly states risk of bodily harm or fear of life. Deadly force is authorized.
Actually, my police officer friend, who I will not shout out, said that they are lethal because if
sit there and hold the trigger.
Yeah, if they couldn't get it away, and also where it goes into you. Right. So it actually is lethal.
Yeah, police are trained in certain ways to be able to use the taser.
But what is a crime now? Like what deserves being arrested? Do they just think he should have got away? Like just let him run away. You can be drunk. You can commit crimes. Cops shouldn't be able to arrest people for crimes. Like, let them wrestle with the police. If they beat them and they run away, cool.
Well, we were just saying it's almost like we were watching one of our favorite shows, SEALs, but the SEAL team. But when you go in certain places, you can't fire upon anyone unless they fire upon you first. And I almost feel like that's what they're asking our officers to do. Don't do anything until you're shot at first or until something.
Or until you're hit.
Until
you're not allowed to use deadly force unless you have been stabbed or shot. I was going to say, it has to be deadly force. Tasers don't count. It has to be deemed. And it's very frustrating for all of our policemen. And me and Graham have talked to our white cop friends, Latino cop friends, black cop friends. And we would talk to everyone, and everyone who is an officer says, I would do the same thing. Yeah, I have an African-American friend who was a police officer, and he called me after he saw my video about it. He said, man, I take that shot 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Black guy, white guy, don't matter. I take that shot 10 times out of 10.
And they keep bringing up, they always do this. He was such a family man, blah, blah, blah.
None of that matters.
Well, those police officers have families.
Yeah.
And when this guy turns around to shoot them, what's going through their head? They want to go home just the same. And they're not the ones committing crimes, putting people in danger.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
Well, hang on. Someone's writing me literally about it as we're... It goes down to this, guys, that it doesn't matter how good of a person you are. None of that matters. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are. What matters is what you choose to do in that situation. And if you make consistent bad decisions, bad things may happen.
Consequences.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
It is as simple as that.
I'm not saying really quick that we wish or are happy he died.
No.
That's very,
No.
that is, I mean,
super
I just want to
unfortunate.
make sure that's very unfortunate, but I don't think, because we just saw that they are calling it murder now. And so.
Well, they deemed it a
they're
homicide.
looking
I'm sorry, they
No,
deemed it a
it's been deemed
homicide. So
which doesn't mean anything.
it doesn't mean they'll be
Homicide
charged.
just means that a person killed another person. That's what it means. It does not mean that cop did something wrong. The part that infuriates me, but you're right, they are going to try for murder charges. The parts that infuriate me is this cop was fired in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And none of the body cam footage, none of the anything show anything warranted for firing this police officer. Nothing. The cops were civil, humble, respectful. Multiple times when Rashard Brooks was fighting them, did they say, hey, stop. Hey, you're going to get tased.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get tased. You're going to get tased. Stop. They warned him multiple times. At what point do we stop siding with criminals? And yes, Rashard Brooks at that point was a criminal. He had done multiple things that were against the law. That makes you a criminal. Drinking makes you a criminal? Drinking and driving behind a wheel makes you, that's a criminal offense. That,
And
yes,
again,
you cannot do
I think
that.
it's unfortunate he passed or he died, but at the same time, we always have to go back to, I wish people would go on ride-alongs. I wish people would actually learn the decisions that our officers have to make in a millisecond.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem is Black Lives Matter and the culture of telling your kids cops just want to kill you. So when they get in that position, they're getting handcuffed. Maybe sometimes they think, I'm about to die. So their last resort is to just run. It's like, that is the wrong kind of message to be sent. Like the guy in St. Paul, they had protests, marches for him, police brutality. And then the body cam footage comes out and he's charging the cop with a knife. Yeah. It's like, that's who you're protesting about? A guy that was trying to stab and kill? It's different like when you shoot somebody, but to stab somebody, you got to be kind of out your mind to do something like that. But it's like Law and Order. Back at the Mueller investigation, the Russia thing, that's what they were all saying. Nobody's above the law. Law and order. We are a country of laws. And now it's like, well, cops are bad. You can kind of break the law. It's just such hypocrisy from the Democrats.
Again, hypocrisy.
Well, and again, to me, and I'm saying it right here, right now, I think that the shooting was justified all day. I do. Is it unfortunate? Yes. Does the cop deserve to be fired? No. Did the cop do anything wrong? No. In fact, I saw that the Atlanta Police Board said that it was a justified shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Better expect some riots if this guy does get charged with murder.
Yeah, it's absolute. It's absolute insanity.
I would say expect some either way.
And what's happening,
true.
and me and my friend who was prior law enforcement had a discussion about this. What's happening is you see it right now. A bunch of SWAT people just quit in Florida. Last week, it was 600 NYPD people quit in a day. People are quitting all over. And what's going to end up happening is police departments are going to end up being more like fire departments. And what I mean by that is the fire department, a lot of people don't realize this, especially in the not metropolitan areas, are primarily powered by volunteers. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, granted, fighting fires and police officers are two different things, but there are volunteer and reserve forces in the police departments, and their main job is to enforce and strengthen numbers and support the paid officers. Now, they still have the same kind of trainings, the same rights and authorities, et cetera, but they're always with the full-time guys and girls, right?
Support.
So, yes, their support. So what's going to end up happening is if all these people quit, the police department is going to become more and more reliant on volunteers.
Yeah, and volunteers aren't going to put their life on the line.
Well, or you're going to have more bad incidents happen.
Absolutely, you will.
Yeah, because, these people are just volunteering out of the goodness of their heart. They're not getting paid. They're not doing anything. And you are setting yourselves up for some very bad days ahead in this regard, and it's really crazy.
A lot of these guys are making $30,000 a year to put their life on the line, and then they're like,
and they have families.
If I try and protect myself, I could potentially get charged with murder for shooting a criminal. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth $30,000.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, we want better. We want to raise the standards for cops. Okay, cool. You raise the standards for cops, then you're going to have to pay them more.
Exactly.
Right.
Because people that have the degrees and all this stuff for raised standards, they're not going to work for what police officers get paid. They're not going to do it because most of them have families, they have kids, they have bills.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the truth of the matter is, police department couldn't afford me. The amount of money that I would lose to go be a cop is astronomical.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people are in that situation. They want to help, but they can't pay their bills.
Right.
So what's the answer there?
Yeah, defunding the police, taking more money away.
That's the answer.
Ignorant people who think that defunding the police doesn't 1,000,000% mean less police officers are ignorant pieces of garbage.
Mm-hmm. Longer shifts,
which means they're going to be more stressed, more tired, more fatigued, which is going to lead to more mistakes.
Domestic abuse. Yep. All of it.
Well, slower response times. I mean, you're going to have to pick, you can't be on this scene and be on this scene at the same time.
Yeah, that's another thing that most people don't realize is outside of major cities, you may only have for a 22 square mile radius, freaking 12 people that are on duty at the time. Yeah. That's a lot of area for 12 people. And a lot of ground to cover. And a lot of ground to cover. So you cut that in half. Good Lord.
It's scary.
Anyway.
But you're also going to lose your good men and women who really want to make a difference. You're going to lose those people, and you're going to have your power tripping people rise up. I mean, it's just not a good scenario.
Anyway, before we end this thing out, we want to give a shout out to Liberty University. Liberty University, and we have teamed up. And right now, if you go to Liberty.Edu/DearAmerica, you can get your application fee waived. I'm going to Liberty University. I went there while I was in the military. I'm going now to finish my degree. They're very pro-military, very pro-law enforcement, which is amazing right now. They do not bend the knee to this cancel culture mob. They're amazing. You can get the degree on your time, your way. Go now, check them out. They're amazing people. We love Liberty University, and we're very thankful to have them as a sponsor. In closing thoughts for this episode, I just want to say that, it looks like the world is on fire right now. And it looks like it may be dark, but I do see brighter days ahead. Things are starting to open back up. Trump rallies are starting to happen again, which means you're going to start to see the other side of America coming back out.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, all you're seeing is the far left agendaed Americans out on the streets because the conservatives have been doing what they were supposed to do and going to work and, minding their own business, but that's neither here nor there. The Trump rallies are going to give a lot of insight as to there are a lot of people that do not believe this crazy stuff. Anyway, that's it for this episode. That's all I got, guys. Stay safe out there. Be blessed. America is still the greatest country in the world, despite all this craziness. Jake, where can they find you?
Instagram at @producer_Jake.
Alyssa
Allen on Instagram and Facebook, and a new Hey America with special guest Mike the Cop. We are doing a Q&A, so it should be good, is out tomorrow.
Yep, and of course, I am Graham Allen, and my book, America 316, is for pre-sale right now. Go to America316.com and get yours today. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Dear America podcast, and we'll see you all again next time.
Bye.